guys, welcome back to Seeking God in the Wait. We are so excited that you guys are joining us on this journey of what God is doing. And as we move through our story, we're hopeful that you guys are able to kind of pick up some things and apply them to your life if you're single. Or if not, we would love to just hear your story, because we know that God's at work not only in us and what we've experienced here, but also in your guys' life. So please feel free to share your stories with us, because God is good. So last week we left off with lots of questions, a million questions. I used to joke, like, I got a million questions for you. And you're like, no, you don't. And I was like, yes, I do. And we went on and on about questions. And I feel like we had started to move into really starting to get more serious, right?
Right, because we were realizing that the more we asked and the more we shared, the more we had in common, the more our vision for the future resonated with each other's. And the more, we had so much fun as well, just in getting to know each other.
I used to joke, I was like, hey, I used to talk to my mentor and be like, she's like a guy version of me. She's pretty awesome, you know?
You mean a girl version?
Those pronouns. This world is so messing me up. She's like a girl version. There we go. She's a girl version of me.
Thank you.
And you're a girl, right? Of course you are. You're my wife. But yeah, definitely just a girl version of me. So it was weird how much we had in common and how we just moving forward just seemed like
connected.
We were just connected on every single level. And for us, that was amazing. So what was the next steps? We had all these questions. We're like, okay, this is great. A couple months in, what happened next?
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this earlier. It's the whole online dating thing is beneficial to meet people and connect with people, but it should never just stay there. It should never just stay online. Because if it does, it can just get really drawn out. And I think the danger is you can hide behind being online and not just, seeing each other in person. So, I mean, for us, we were really kind of getting antsy to meet each other in person.
Well, we'd been waiting for so long for that right. person. And now it's like,
feeling like
well, this person is here.
Yeah.
Like, now what do we do?
We're hoping that this is the person. We're feeling like this could be a good thing, and we're both really hopeful. With a good dose of, maybe not, but maybe it is.
Maybe, but let's protect our heart. But we're still moving forward as if this is going to work out.
We're going to be serious and taking the steps. So, Traps had thrown it out there. I really did let him lead, I want to say. I let him pursue in that sense. And so he just was like, just so nice getting to know you, but I would love to actually meet you in person. And I think it'd be really good if we got to meet in person. And I was like, yeah, I fully agree. And he said, California called and they want your Johanna back. And I had gone to college in California. So I had been to California. I knew, what Southern California was. And he just kind of always kept throwing out the bait of
is she going to take it?
You should come out here. And I thought, obviously I love California and I would love to go see him. But I honestly felt a little weird being the one to fly out and meet this person I randomly met online like that. Yeah. How sketchy does that sound?
Is this guy legit?
Especially 2 months into it, right? We're 2 months into it at this point. Granted, we've been talking for every day and we've laid out our cards and we're trying to be as real and honest as possible with each other. But still, there are weird, freaky people out there. And I said, you could come to Germany. You're welcome to come visit here. And he's like, I really would, and I would love to come. I've never been to Europe, but I just took my 2 weeks vacation, and I don't think I can get time off right now.
Did you believe me?
Totally believe me.
Okay, because it was the truth.
Yeah, I knew you were in India. You sent me pictures of being in it, unless you were great at staging and Photoshop.
Which I am.
Yeah. So, he just kept throwing out like this whole, like, come visit. I'd love to come see you, or I'd love you to come see me and visit me. So, without telling him really, I spoke to a couple of people that I trusted, like close friends, and a mentor of mine who, and I think family as well, who I just said, I've met this person. These are the areas that we connect on. And it just seems different than the other people I've met and connected with. And it's something that I would love to get, see if it works in person. So what do you guys think? Like, would it be so weird if I went out to visit him? I feel weird going out to visit him. And everyone who I trusted and who knew me said, Johanna, we have a good feeling about it. My brothers were like, just make sure you have a plan B, like a safety plan. Yeah. Obviously, like, you're flying out to meet this random person and you just don't know, like, are they going to take advantage of the situation? Are they who they really say that? Like, in case of those things, be smart and have a plan B, have an exit plan.
So it's good that you had wise counsel in the whole situation.
Really good
too.
counsel.
Somebody that you could talk to and be like, hey, what do I do in this situation? Because I know a lot of times when people find somebody and they're dating or they're talking to somebody and they're super interested, emotions kind of get in the way.
Well, and you're just like, you think it's this, like, how could this not be the real thing? Yeah.
Right. So it's good to have that wise counsel outside of those emotions to guide you and say, yeah, this is good, or no, think about this, or
right. Yes.
So it's not just kind of jumping on a plane and not knowing where you end up.
And not having a plan, right. So I knew a couple of people in Southern California that I could lean back on and contact if anything was weird or fishy or dangerous, or even if it was just super awkward and I needed to get out of the situation, like, I would have a backup plan. But my mentor said, Johanna, actually, it would be of great benefit for you to go out there and meet him, because you'll have a chance to meet not just him, but his friends, his mentor, his church, possibly his family. Like, you get to meet him in his context, which allows you to see, do things line up? Like, what he shared with you so far, does that line up with what you see, in his life and in his, does he really have a small group that he's leading,
Because you had seen a lot about my life via Facebook and like, I think you even talked to my mom on a video call once. Right. So
I did. Yes.
It was one of those, like, it wasn't just a blind, I'm just going to go out there, jump on a plane.
No.
There was more.
We had video talked and I had kind of met a few of his people that he had talked about on video. So I knew that he was not lying, and I knew that he wasn't afraid to tell them about me. Like, he was transparent, like, with me and with them. This was not a secretive thing that he, was planning some other thing, but it was a genuine, desire to get to know me. And so I prayed and I said, God, here's my little fleece. And I just said, if I take time off and I'm willing to fly out there and spend time out there, I would love for you to, or my sign from you, like my sign that this is a good thing and I should do it and I move forward in this, would be for him to offer to pay for my ticket. Not because I was mooching off of it and we're like, too cheap.
Because you're a gold digger?
No. I mean, I would have paid it back to him if it just didn't work out. But I felt like, one, it's like kind of a gentleman thing to do, like.
Thanks, Mom.
He's gonna pursue, like, is he really willing to invest into it? Even like, you're investing money. I'm investing time. I'm investing time off of work. I'm taking the effort to fly out there. We're both investing into this meeting up point. So I prayed for that. And I said, like, if I suggest, like, yeah, I would love to come out, let him offer to pay for my ticket. And that's how I'll know, this is a good thing. It's a green light from you, Lord. And that was just my prayer. I mean, not that that's like the magic thing to do, but it was just a way for me to see, like, Lord, I want your direction as well. And I want your blessing in it. And the entire time I was also feeling great peace about it. I think that was a key thing in our getting to know each other. Never did I feel like, oh my gosh, there's all these red flags and I'm not really sure, like I'm very, on the rocks about it, but I really want someone, so I'm just going to try. Maybe it will change. Maybe, it will get better. Or I felt like I hadn't come across any major red flags that I felt like this is a deal breaker so far. Obviously, it's not very far into it, but so I had peace. And he offered not just to pay for my ticket, but he was like, don't worry about accommodation. I'll find you a good, safe place to stay with, a female friend of mine here in the area. And I'll take care of any other expenses that you have while you're here. Which, thank you.
Well,
that was...
In one sense, it's kind of you were testing me, right?
I was testing you, yeah.
Yeah, because if I wasn't willing to take care of you at that point, like, would I be able to take care of you in marriage?
Yeah.
So,
are you a caring person? I think I was testing, like, is he someone that cares, that sees, like, okay, these are her needs, let me meet those needs. And so, I think I was testing you and you were testing me, like, is she going to come out? Like, is she going to get on that plane? And how'd that go? How'd that turn out for you?
Yeah, it's good. Why don't you talk just shortly a little bit about your experience, and we'll talk about that in the next episode, my experience when I went. A little bit about, like, your time there, because you're only there for 9 days. Right.
So I fly out to California a month later. So this is 3 months into us getting to know each other. I fly out. I'm a little nervous, very nervous, but in a good kind of nervous way. And we meet up at the airport, standing there with a red rose and just so sweet. Like he, welcomed me and, I spent 9 days in California and we always joke it's like the longest date of our life, like a 9-day date that just never ended. Yeah. And it was really, really sweet because the person that I thought he was what I had experienced while I was there. The person that I, thought I was getting to know online, it matched up with what I had seen, him to be in person, but also just, in his surroundings, like his people. And that, matters. Who do you surround yourself with? It influences us. And so.
And while you're there, you did one really smart thing, which is you kind of interrogated my friends. I won't say interrogated. You asked a lot of questions because you wanted to know the people that were close to me, like what they really think and how that was. So what was that like?
Well, right. So going into it, I was like, okay, I have this opportunity to, I have a few days to get to know not just him, like one-on-one. He had asked me, do you want me to cancel all the things that I normally do in the week so we have the most amount of time together? And I said, no, I really would love time with you, just one-on-one, but I also really want to get to know your small group. I want to go to church with you. He had suggested maybe to meet up with his family and meet his mom and stuff, which she lived a few hours further north. And we did. And I loved getting to know him in his context with his people. And I had said, okay, I need to ask his mentor, just ask him whatever questions were still on my heart. And I need to ask maybe his friends or maybe his pastor or something, is this a person that you would recommend? Knowing that I'm someone who's coming from halfway across the world, I only have so many days with him in person and we only have online communication. So when after I'd met the friends a previous time, we had gone out for dinner all together towards the end of my trip. And I just, I sat with the girls and we were talking and chatting. And then I leaned over to them and I was like, hey guys, you guys know I'm getting to know Travis and is there, I just want to know these were like some of the girls in his friends group. I said, is there anything that you would want me to know or you think is important for me to know in getting to know him? Any red flags, anything like that. And they said, well, if you're going to date Travis, you have to be really flexible. And I was like, okay, I think I'm one of the most flexible people I know. And, he's very kind-hearted, so he doesn't really seek revenge on people who do him wrong. And I was like, that's okay with me. I'm okay with a man who's not full of anger. And I was like, is there anything else? Any red flags? Anything boom, 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 don't do this. And they're like, oh, no, not with Travis.
Thanks,
he's
ladies.
an awesome brother in the Lord, and we love and respect him, and we've known him for years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that, that we're like, yeah, be careful about this or that. And I was like, okay, thanks, So his mentor had just talked about him anyways. I didn't really have to ask lots of questions. And, they just bragged about him, really, because Travis is an awesome person. And everyone he meets and gets to know, just loves and appreciates him. And so people really had a lot of good things to say about you. And it confirmed to me that what I was seeing and what I was thinking and who I thought I was getting to know was really genuinely that person. And that encouraged me. Mm-hmm. And it encouraged me and gave me peace about moving forward in getting to know you. And really, I think solidifying, we're together, mm-hmm. And how does that look? What does that look like? Long distance.
Yeah. So there's a lot to take away in this, right? Long distance to actually meeting up. What does that look like? You really just, I don't want to say interrogated, but you really sought out my friends and family members mm-hmm. and all that just to see who I really was. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't just I just want to know who this guy is. You had an intention of mm-hmm. getting married or at least moving into that that area. Mm-hmm. So you wanted to know what you were getting yourself mm-hmm. into. Yeah. So on one hand, it's the greatest thing you can possibly mm-hmm. do because you're talking to the people that know mm-hmm. me the mm-hmm. best, right? And either are going to recommend me mm-hmm. or you're going to sense some hesitation in certain people, right? Right. So, I think that in this episode, I think that's probably one of the biggest things as far as the thing to take away is get to know the people that you're interested in,
mm-hmm.
not just that person, but talk to their family. Not just in one-on-one.
Right. See them in their interactions with people. I was watching to see how does he interact with other women.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
If he's super flirtatious and all chatty and super close, I would have been like, thanks for this nice little trip, but mm-hmm. See him in his interactions, leading his Bible study or whatever it is, mm-hmm. in church, on the street, how does he interact with you one-on-one? Is he respectful of your boundaries? Are they who you think they are, and are they do they meet that godly standard that you're looking for in a partner and in a marriage? Mm-hmm.
And the best way to get to know somebody is in their natural habitat, right? Yes. Yeah. So, and I always say, get to know somebody there because they're not going to pretend or be somebody that they're not around their closest friends. Yeah. Because their closest friends are going to call them out on it. Sure. So it's one of those that's the best place to get to know mm-hmm. somebody is where they mm-hmm. Their day to day instead of always trying to seclude yourself and get to know somebody one-on-one, which is good and has its benefits.
Has its place, yeah.
But you can get so much more information mm-hmm. out of somebody to see how they are around their friends and family. Yeah. So, well,
all that to say, we had a great 9-day date.
That was beautiful.
And at the end, he just looked at me and was like, what do I need to do to make this work? How can we move forward? And
that's what we're going to talk about next episode. Yeah. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. We hope you're inspired. And God bless you guys.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye. story.
I know, you too.
So good.